Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Get Printing. I'm your host, Zach Dewhurst, the Business Development Manager at DecoNetwork. I'm also the owner of PrintPhase, a company I founded in 2009 that revolves around DTF and screen print transfers. The following year, I signed up for the game-changing software DecoNetwork. And in all my years, one thing that I've learned is that promotional products are quickly growing in popularity. And as a shop owner, you must be offering them because your competition is, and you don't want to give your customer a reason to go to the competition. But there's also several different software platforms to sell promotional products through, and they typically have a license fee and a software subscription. Today, we're thrilled to have Jeremey Parker, the founder of SwagSpace, the platform that allows you to sell promotional products 100% risk-free. Jeremey founded swag.com back in 2016 and then sold the business to Custom Ink. Yes, that Custom Ink bought swag.com from Jeremey, and then they partnered together to create swag.space. We are really excited to have Jeremey with us today to talk about his vision on how to sell promotional products without worrying about a monthly subscription or the tedious task of having to find suppliers to outsource jobs to. But before we talk about promotional products, it's time to talk about our favorite sponsor, DecoNetwork, the all-in-one print shop automation software. So, are you tired of juggling multiple software tools to keep your print shop running smoothly? DecoNetwork is here to transform the way you do business and manage your shop. With DecoNetwork, you can effortlessly organize production, integrate with suppliers, manage your orders, and sell online using just one platform. No more headaches or paying for multiple software subscriptions. DecoNetwork streamlines your order workflow all the way to shipping. Plus, its powerful e-commerce capabilities allow you to create a beautiful website in just minutes using the drag and drop what you see, what you get editor. Now, it's time to take your decoration business to the next level. Visit DecoNetwork.com to request your free demo today. DecoNetwork, the print shop automation software to organize production and sell online. Now, let's get back to the show. How's it going, Jeremey?
It's great. Great to see you again, Zach.
It's great to have you. We did a webinar a few months ago on SwagSpace and had a lot of great reception because you are doing promotional products very differently than the old school method. So can you give us a little bit of a rundown as to what exactly SwagSpace is and how you came up with the idea?
Sure thing. So in 2016, I co-founded a company called swag.com. Swag.com ultimately became the fastest growing company in the promotional product space. We work with over 18,000 companies from Amazon and Google and Netflix who buy swag from us. And we scaled to multiples of tens of millions of dollars a year in sales and ultimately acquired by Custom Ink. But I came up with the idea of SwagSpace really in the first year while I was actually developing swag.com in 2016. So when I was starting swag.com, before we built any part of the e-commerce experience, I was a traditional salesperson. I was knocking on doors. I was like a promo distributor, knocking on doors, back and forth emails with clients, sourcing from different vendors. I found myself spending about 80% of my time on the bullshit of fulfilling orders, frankly. Like, there's so much effort and it's so fragmented, and only about 20% of my time on the actual selling is, and that's what I wanted to spend my time on. So in 2016, when I realized that, I was like, well, ultimately, swag.com is going to become really, really good, and it would be really cool if at that point we could white label the technology of swag.com and basically give it away for free to all other promo distributors who are looking to streamline their process. And that's exactly what we did. So we spent the next 6 years, actually next 8 years, building swag.com, refining the experience, making all those kind of fragmented parts of it streamlined, really automating the entire experience. And then we said, well, now that we've invested literally tens of millions of dollars into this amazing platform and we figured out how to do things, and not just e-commerce, building boxes for customers and warehousing and individual distribution and creating company stores through our Shopify integrations. I mean, think about all the stuff that we built at swag.com over the years. What if we just gave all of that technology to all promo distributors and allowed them a much easier way to streamline their process. That 80% of the stuff that they're doing today, that's the annoying things, the BS as I called it earlier, what if we could replace all of that and allow them to spend 100% of their time on the actual selling, which is what they want to do. So that was the big idea. But then the thought was, well, there's all these other promo adjacencies, right? People who want to sell swag, like your DecoNetwork, screen printers. People are selling apparel and they may want to start selling promo, whether they do it already or they want to do it. How can we make it really, really easy for them? So that was the idea. It's like, how do we make this easy? Let's white label our tech, give it away for free, and we're seeing some amazing results so far.
Everybody wants that easy button. Yep. Everybody does. And when it comes to promotional products, let's define what a promotional product is. It's really anything with a brand on it. I mean, you think in a daily, you come in contact with so many promotional products. I mean, if you walk into a restaurant and on the floor they've got a mat with the logo, that's a promo product. I think the misconception often is if only promotional products are a giveaway. Not necessarily. It's really anything branded. And what I didn't, realize a few years ago is how many different things there are. I mean, you want a Yeti cooler with your logo. There's a company that does it. And so promo products are all around us. They're only becoming more and more popular because it does a lot. It's the way I like to look at a promo product is how many impressions can we get of it? We think about like online marketing and you pay cost per click, cost per impression. Well, a t-shirt can be branded. This has got DecoNetwork's logo on it. It is a promotional product. Well, guess what? When I wash it, I then goes in on a hanger and it sits in my closet. And every day I have to get a t-shirt out of there and I swing through and it's like, oh, look, DecoNetwork. One of the best promotional products out there is a t-shirt with somebody's logo on it, because even when it's not being worn, a lot of customers will come in contact with it every single day, and psychologically we're automatically making that connection. Same with all those kitchenware items, if you mugs or a tumbler, every day I'm going to open up the cupboard and I'm going to see that brand. That is a great promotional product. The beautiful thing about a lot of promotional products are your customers paying to market your business. I mean, it's crazy. And there's all types of promotional products. And before we can talk about those, let's talk about a couple terms that not everybody may know. You have, typically in the promo world, you have distributors and you have suppliers. So can you kind of define those two roles and how they work in this realm?
Sure thing. So swag.com is a distributor. So what distributors do, distributors are the front-facing business to Facebook and Google and Amazon, companies that want to buy swag. They deal with us. We're helping them. We're there, whether we're an e-commerce experience like swag.com is, or you have, there's honestly 23,000 promo distributors that handhold clients, that it's like consultative, it's an agency feel. They're dealing with the end customer, and the end customer, like Amazon or Google, comes to Jenny Promo, for example, and says, I'm looking for these 5 products, can you help me? And Jenny Promo it's her responsibility for getting those products and printing it, etc. Now, Jenny Promo typically doesn't do any of the printing. What Jenny Promo does is she goes out and she sources for those different products. So she then goes to all the suppliers in the industry. And there's thousands of suppliers. And there's hundreds of suppliers that just focus on water bottles and drinkware. And there's hundreds of suppliers that deal with whatever. Notebooks and pens and all this different stuff. So that's the business. It's a lot of people, 23,000 and growing, of promo distributors really hustling, being sales agents, and really trying to work with their clients and back and forth and understanding. And then once they get what the customer's interested in, having to go to a supplier, see if the inventory is there, if the colors are in stock, what the price is, how prices change, if there's a front logo versus a back logo versus a 3-color print versus a 2-color print. It's complicated, and there's a lot of middlemen, if you could imagine, right? Like it's like you're ping-ponging, you're waiting on hold at suppliers, seeing if there's inventory, you're sending emails not to be responded to for a day, and then the client no longer wants that product or finds it somewhere else. So it's a process, and I found myself when I was actually starting swag.com, before we built the technology, like it took us about 4 days to close a sale. Like, and oftentimes we thought we were about to close a sale and then the deal fell through because it just took too long. Swag Space streamlines all of it. It basically is saying no longer does a promo distributor have to deal with 1,000 different suppliers and see what's right. Let us be your de facto supplier. Okay? Let your client, instead of your client reaching out to you and try and say, hey Jenny, can you help me source things? Why doesn't the client just go to a site, browse the products, see the inventory in real time, upload their logo, mock it up, see prices in real time, and check out? Once the order happens, it hits our back end. We are the de facto supplier. All of that work, all of that back and forth, all that waiting on hold is no more, right? So that's for Jenny Promo's clients who do want to be e-commerce customers. Then Jenny Promo might have clients who don't want to go through a checkout flow, don't want to be an e-commerce buyer, and that's fine too. So let Jenny do it all for her client. Now we build tools where Jenny can literally build a cart for her client. Let's say Jenny's talking to Facebook, and Facebook's asking for these 5 things. Jenny can literally go to our platform, easily browsable, the best e-commerce experience, find exactly what her client wants, upload her client's logo, mock things up, click a button, automatically generates a cart link, share that cart link with the client. Now Facebook has the cart all priced out in seconds, not days. It used to take 4 days of back and forth and waiting on hold. Now it takes literally seconds to create. So all these, and there's a lot more, features. We have the ability to create a presentation deck in literally seconds. All you do is build a cart, press a button, it spits out a beautiful deck. That used to take us 4 days. What we found is when we built that auto creation tool, that deck creation tool for swag.com, it increased our conversions by over 300%. Because imagine, at swag.com, we're talking to Facebook on Monday morning, and they're saying what they're looking for. The old way of doing it, and this is when I say the old way, I mean the way that it's done in the whole industry today before Swag.
We're going to talk about this, yeah.
Yeah, every single person has to then find those products to different suppliers, wait on hold, see what's available, see the pricing, back and forth, hire a designer, mock things up, create it. By the time you have a meeting on Monday, you're not getting a deck to Facebook until Thursday. And when you do that, who knows, maybe they're speaking to 5 other promo distributors. Maybe now you're racing to the bottom in terms of how much you could charge, and now it's like it adds so much complexity when things take so slow. Our system, create a cart, 30 seconds, press a button, have a deck. When you're doing your follow-up email to Facebook on a Monday morning, hey, great chatting with you. I put to get a deck together. Take a look, see if we're on the right track. Doing things much faster, much quicker, really helps. Well, we've seen people convert a lot better.
And there's a similarity with DecoNetwork. I always said DecoNetwork's one of the best features that I really like is the quoting capability, because almost every order in our industry, if it's any value at all, it starts with a quote. And what does quoting come down to? Speed. You need to get to the customer fast, because if they're asking for a quote, they're probably asking somebody else. And whoever gets to them faster is often the one winning it, not necessarily is always the cheapest, because speed equals response, and customers like the response. So before we talk about all the really cool Swag Space stuff that I love that you created, let's talk about the old school, the traditional way of selling promotional product. I mean, there's a few different networks, but there's 2 that are really the 2 biggest. Sage, ASI. And PPAI is kind of a partner of Sage. So the old school, the most common way, I should say, before you launch Swag Space, is you'd sign up for ASI or Sage. You're paying a monthly subscription, sometimes a license fee to get started. And what you're able to do there as a distributor, again, if you're not doing the decoration, you're a distributor. That's the way to look at it. So you sign up, and now you have all of there's access to all these suppliers. And the suppliers are selling the blank, or they're selling the blank and doing the decoration. So you have this nice network, but it gets overwhelming. And then once you start making sales, like you said, Jeremy, now you got to find the right supplier to send the job to. So it becomes that middleman game, which there's nothing wrong with being a middleman, but you want it to be as streamlined as and efficient as possible. And something you kind of mentioned earlier, my favorite supplier of blank apparel is Sanmar, and they make it really easy. It's a one-stop shop. I have no interest in finding 10 different suppliers. This one just does hats. This one does this. This one does that. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but that all-in-one just easiness, and I get free shipping and so forth. With Swag Space, there's several things that are different. One, there's no subscription fee. So instead of paying $50, $100 or more for access to a platform and then paying more to have a website, it just keeps adding up. And then once I start making sales, now I've got all this extra work of finding the right person to decorate it and hope that they don't let me down. So with Swag Space, you're kind of like, well, no license fee. Let's get rid of that subscription. And let's get rid of this whole like having to complicate the middleman outsourcing role. With Swag Space, hey, here's an awesome website that can do a lot of things we're going to talk about in a second. And now you've got that order. Well, guess what? We already know who's decorating it. Swag Space has taken all that extra work. You know, time is money. I would rather make a little bit less off of a sale to do a lot less work. You know, it just makes sense. So Swag Space. Swag, you started what? 2016, I think you said.
Yeah, swag.com was 2016.
Swag.com. Swag Space, tell us, you know, the evolution there. You've explained it a little bit in your unique relationship with Custom Ink.
Yeah, so we started swag.com in 2016, and my goal with my co-founder Josh at the time was to create the next generation buying experience. There was a lot of things that we saw in the swag industry of how people bought swag, and we thought we could do it better. I guess the biggest insight we had back then was that the buyer changed. The buyer of swag for companies became younger, frankly. Right? It used to be a 40, 50-year-old office manager. We started to see the trends that it was actually a millennial that was doing the buying of swag, and that's only continued. And this was back in 2016, so 9 years ago or so, we saw this trend. And then you have to start to think, well, if every platform is built for a different buyer, an older buyer, what would the next generation experience look like that deals with the younger buyer? And a couple of things that we learned. Like, number one, the younger buyer doesn't necessarily want to talk to anybody on the phone. Right? They want to find it themselves and do it themselves. They don't want to be shown too many options, right? Because if you have 1,000 mugs, they have no idea what's quality. They get overwhelmed by too many choices. They get paralyzed by choice. They can't make a decision. So that's another thing. We found that the buyer, you know, was actually kind of two types of buyers as a millennial. Some of those buyers, like literally 50-50, knew exactly what they wanted, and they wanted to go to a site and find exactly what they wanted. So we needed to make that experience really easy. But we also found 50% of the buyers had no clue what they wanted. So you can't overwhelm with too many options because then they're never going to make a choice because they'll be browsing and never find what they're looking for. So all these different inputs and a lot more things we learned of like how the current buyer wants to buy swag. So we built that experience and it worked, right? As I said before, we scaled up every year, 100% growth every single year, 350,000 the first year, 1.1 million, 3 million, 7 million, 15 million, 30 million. Every single year we were doubling in sales or more than doubling in sales. In 2021, Custom Ink, who I'm sure your audience knows, you know, they came to us and said, well, you guys are growing really fast. You're hitting a different buyer segment than we are. You guys are like the next gen. And we had some other things involved. We had inventory and distribution, the ability for companies to buy swag in bulk, hold inventory and make individual distributions to their remote employees or their best customers. We had a big, robust platform built out. We had the ability for customers to buy boxes. So we didn't have, you know, they didn't have to like buy stuff from 3 different places and then kit it up themselves. We handle it all. Custom Ink liked all those things. So they acquired us in 2021. I was the CEO of swag.com up until December of last year. And then I went to my boss, Mark, the founder of Custom Ink, and I said, I've had this idea for 8 years, since the first year that I started swag.com, and I think now is the right time to do it. We have all this amazing technology. We have all this amazing infrastructure, if you think about it, between swag.com, what we built, and what Custom Ink has built over the last 25 years. Why don't we give this technology, these resources, and just allow every single person who wants to sell swag, whether it's a screen printer or a promo distributor or a party planner or a designer, anybody who would want to sell swag, why don't we just give it to them for free, allow them to white label it fully. So it doesn't say swag.com anywhere, it doesn't say swag space anywhere, it doesn't say Custom Ink anywhere, it says Jenny Promo. Allow anyone instantaneously to make sales. And our belief is that we have the best e-commerce experience, we have the best platform. So if you think about that, now everybody at their fingertips for free has the best experience that took us 9 years and tens of millions of dollars of investment instantly. They want to do boxes, they instantly have our best warehousing capabilities and infrastructure. Everything is like a click of a button, less than 30 seconds to sign up. And then that's the first part. The second part is what happens when orders come in. Once an order comes in, that's it. We handle the rest. We handle the boxing. We handle the kitting. We handle the production. We handle the mock-ups. We handle the figuring out the Pantone colors. We handle the converting the low-res logo to a high-res logo. Anything that you could imagine after an order is placed, we handle it all. So what does that leave the promo distributor? What does that leave the screen printer? It leaves them with way more time to focus on what they want to do, which is sell. Yep. My belief, and I really feel strongly about this, if you're a promo distributor and you're doing $300,000 a year in sales today, not using SwagSpace, next year, if you really dive in, if you really learn how to best use our platform, all the features, all the technology that we built, you will do over $1 million of sales. You will more than triple your sales. And I know this for a fact. And I know this for a fact because in January when we launched swag.com, we had nothing. I was a traveling salesperson. I did that $300,000, $350,000 the first year. When I launched the first version of my e-commerce site, my team did not grow. It was just me and my co-founder Josh our second year, and we did 1.1 million of sales. The same amount of output, we tripled our sales. How is that possible? How, with the same amount of output, the same team, 2 people, we went from 350,000 to 1.1 million. And this was back in 2017. Now imagine how much better the platform is today, how much easier it is today. Like, I think people will really be able to scale this and grow this and really free up their time to do it, frankly, whatever they want. Whether they want to make more money, great. Whether they want to spend more time with their family, great. Do what you want to do. You should not be waiting on hold with suppliers to see, is the product in stock? It just, there's so many things that we are replacing and removing and streamlining that I really want people to give it a shot so that they could see, how their life could change in a positive way.
Yeah, and again, it's the technology behind it. To make it is a very, when you sign up for your own SwagSpace account and you have your site, it is beautiful. I mean, the user experience and everything is top notch. It doesn't look like I'm on a 1990s website like some of these platforms do feel like sometimes. It's beautiful and it's risk-free. I mean, now, something you kind of mentioned there that I have seen is when it comes to promotional products, you've always had distributors, you always have suppliers. It's the distributors that have changed a bit over the past handful of years. So for a long time, those distributors worked out of like a home office. They all they did was outsource all orders. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with just outsourcing everything, whether it's apparel, promo product, and all that. But what I've seen a shift in the past 5 years, especially during around COVID, is it seems like there's so many more embroidery, screen print, and DTF shops who like doing, the production in-house for all that apparel and so forth, but never really thought about offering promo. They kind of were just, those are for the guys who don't want to do anything in-house. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've really seen shift where, okay, I'm a print shop, now I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. And not only the local print shops and so forth, go to Vistaprint. What do they offer? They offer promo product. Everybody now is doing promo because it's what the customers are demanding, and there's good money in it without having to touch a product. So more and more shops are now offering it. Those shops that are offering it are seeing it grow every single year as far as the demand goes. And it's gotten to the point, Jeremy, where I think that if you don't offer it and your competition does, it's starting to hurt. You really have to start offering promo if you're an embroidery, print, screen print shop, any of those. It's not that you're leaving money on the table at this point. It's that you're giving your competition a chance to steal your business. And that's scary. But then let's also talk about, I'm in my shop right now. We screen print, we DTF, we embroider. We are never going to buy a pad printer and start doing it ourselves. We're not. I mean, I'd like to have an engraving machine, but guess what? I just got some promo here. I'm not doing 500 of these myself. I'm not set up for it. So when it comes to SwagSpace, one thing I really like was how easy it is to separate apparel from hard goods. Because totally. I want the apparel on my site. I want to be able to do that, but on my apparel site, I want a little thing right there, promo or hard goods. Click that. You're on my SwagSpace site, and now you're shopping through these thousands of hard goods that I have control to consolidate and pick out. And you know, I'm going to let you talk about it in a second, but Jeremy, I really like how you give the customer 3 different ways. One, so my customers as a shop owner, I could send them a link, they could go there and they could browse my products, they could place an order. Secondly, I could put together a cart and send it to the customer. You know, it's like, hey, here's what I think is right for you based on what you told me. And then the third option is really building that presentation slide deck. So when your customer comes to you and like, hey, I'm looking for mugs, like you said, there's a lot of different types of mugs. What would be really cool is, okay, you're looking for mugs. Well, hey, here's our 11 ounce, here's our 15 ounce, here's a campfire version and so forth. It's different than a t-shirt because they look so differently. When I'm picking out a t-shirt, it's more of the quality. You know, if it's a black shirt, it's a black shirt. But when it comes to like a mug, I mean, there's a lot of different shapes and sizes and so forth. And that's where I think with promo, having that presentation capability is really important. So can you break down those 3 different ways and just how hard goods are a little bit different than apparel?
Totally. And I would say, just to go rewind a little bit, every person who creates an account with Swagspace has full control over their catalog. So our catalog, if you want to have all the products in our catalog, it's about 7,000 products. We're constantly adding more and more products on the site. So imagine, Zach, you don't see what you want and you want to add something specific. You can reach out to our team and we'll help source it and we'll help add it. When it gets added for you, it gets added for everybody else. It's really a community platform. But if you're looking through the 7,000 products and for whatever reason you don't want to offer apparel through us, right? We have a whole apparel category. You want to do the apparel yourself. You're a screen printer. You could just easily toggle off apparel and then apparel's not on your site. You could go even subcategories and say, I don't want this specific mug, I don't like it. Whatever it is, right? You could decide which products you want and don't want. We also have it broken down by price point because we found that there's different price points. You know, even in t-shirts, think about t-shirts. There could be a $2 t-shirt or there could be an $80 t-shirt, right? We have the full gamut. We have the full range. Now, your clientele might not like the $80. They might never buy it. It might turn them off. You might want to hide those products. So we have the ability to hide certain price points as well, or certain types, or the vice versa. You might want to be more premium and only offer the more premium products, and turn off the lower end of the product category. Like, you have full control. That's the first thing. The second thing is exactly what you said. I don't want people to think that Swagspace is like your e-commerce experience. It is that, but it's so much more than that. It's think of it as like your sales enablement tool. However you want to make sales, we built the solution for you to make sales. So to repeat what Zach said, you might have a link on your site that says, you know, click here to buy swag. By the way, we also have technology where you could create your landing page, your homepage on our tech. So you don't even need a homepage. You could literally develop your homepage in seconds on our site and then launch your catalog and your browsing experience on the site. It's like the full thing from beginning to end for
and
free.
The site, real quick, Jeremy, sorry to interrupt, it can be in order mode or quote mode. Is that correct?
And
that is extremely important, guys, because most things in our industry are quoted. Customer may not be ready to whip out a credit card for $7,000 worth of mugs. But if you have it in quote mode, you're allowing the customer to reduce all that back and forth. Oh, wait, what do you got? What do you got? And what's it going to cost? And then they're able to click that button, submit quote request, and you're able to, yes, we can hit your deadline. Yeah, we can add these couple other items because that's just the way. I mean, again, most DecoNetwork websites are in quote mode if you're doing custom orders. And I think that's very important with what you're doing there.
So basically, imagine you have a client who you know is more e-commerce ready. You know, they've checked out 3 sites. Maybe they're a little bit younger buyer. Have it on your site. Allow them to check out themselves. And it's easy. I'm telling you, it's like over 60% of swag.com customers check out themselves. We have 40% that need some hand-holding. And that's how we built it. So people go to the site, they find what they're looking for, they upload their logo, price shown in real time, their in-hand date shown in real time, they input their credit card, they check out easy. Fine. Then you have other clients who maybe never check out on the site. They really want the white glove experience. They want you to do it for them. So do it for them. It takes seconds. Log in, create an account, You say, I'm going to build a cart for Jeremy at Facebook. Find the products that you think Jeremy wants based on your conversations, right? We're not removing the human connection. There's still that human connection. We're just automating it and streamlining the busy work so you don't have to be wasting time on that. Build the cart for Facebook. Click a button. It literally takes less than 30 seconds. Share the link. Facebook will click on the link. They'll see what they like. They could decide, I want to change the quantity. I want to delete a product. I want to adjust the logo. Let them make whatever modifications, but you're getting them about 80% the way there. And then once they check out, that's it. We handle all the work. You can focus on selling. What we found is that when you build the carts for clients, you might need to build a cart for a client for the first 2, 3, 4 times. But by the 5th time, 6th time, they get so comfortable with the e-commerce experience. They start seeing their order history. They get seeing their inventory. You're basically training them how to be an e-commerce user.
Same thing with shirts on DecoNetwork. Yeah, the first time you order anything, it's a lot harder if it's a made-to-order product. But once you've done it a couple times,
it gets so comfortable.
You start in a groove.
And then, so imagine you have a client that every year checks out 5 times from you, and now you're spending, before SwagSpace, hours and hours and days on every single order. Now, after the first 2 orders, first of all, you're spending 30 seconds versus 30 hours. It's already much faster. But even at the 5th, 6th order, they might be checking out. You might start getting orders in without even talking to them. They don't need you anymore in that way. They need you more for your consultative nature, for your helping hand, for your suggesting of the right products. But they don't necessarily need you to do all of the sourcing for them or the placing the order for them or the managing the process for them. They know what they're doing. And then the last way is obviously, as you said, PDF presentation. This is a little bit earlier in the funnel, right? Like when you build a cart for a client, they know what they're looking for. You feel like they're, somewhat at the end, they're about to check out or they're very close. The presentation part, this is a little bit earlier in the process, but it's still just as important. You need to get them a deck really quickly so that they could show it to their coworkers, to their boss, to get budget approval, etc. Now you can create a deck in minutes versus days. That's the part. And then once they like it, they can decide to add those products to the cart and checkout. We also have the ability, let's imagine Jenny Promo is on our site and they have clients who don't want to check out on the site by themselves, who don't want to check out on the site even if you build the cart for them. They're much more old school. They want to pay via invoice. Great. We have the capability that that client could buy a via invoice either through the site, so they could literally check out via invoice, not put their credit card information, or check out through invoice in their own way. And how Jenny Promo does it, we built a tool where you could create an invoice in seconds using our site, download the button, it populates the invoice. The invoice has Jenny Promo's banking information, has their logo, it's fully white labeled. Jenny's Promo collects the money from her client like she traditionally does. But when Jenny Promo wants to place the order on our site, instead of going to 100 different suppliers and buying blank goods at Samar and sending it to a screen printer and buying this at a notebook vendor and a warball vendor, and then all they have to do is check out via our site, and it's like a one-stop shop, and just instead of paying the $100, they pay the $70. So it's basically the price and discount is already baked into the experience. So there's all these different ways, and we built this specifically, and I didn't know this early on. Like I had like a specific vision, and as you build things out, you learn from clients what they want, what they don't want, what's important to them. And we're constantly iterating and building the right solution. So every single week, we start launching more and more features to make the experience that much better for people.
And okay, so you just kind of brought up there a little bit about, how much can I expect to make? So what is the traditional markup on a promotional product, and what might it be if I'm using SwagSpace? Because at the end of the day, every order, I don't care if it's apparel, hard goods, whatever, you have the revenue, what you're selling it for, but then you have expenses. And what everybody has to remember is time and labor is one of your highest expenses. There's no such thing as free time. Mm-hmm. If I was on an ASI, say it's just really anywhere, what is a typical markup on a promotional product?
Sure. I'll give you kind of how we think of the math of it all. And people in the promo space think of things based on margin. I don't think of it based on this with SwagSpace. I think of more about profit. But let's start on the view of the margin. Let's say Jenny Promo has been in the industry. She's doing $1 million a year in sales. When she buys it from any of the suppliers in our industry, she's programmed to try to make 40% margins. Some products you make 35%, some products you might make 41, 42, but in that range, if you think about it that way. So imagine a supplier recommends a mug that should cost $10 MSRP to your clients. So then they would do it. They would sell it for $10 to their client, and they would buy it from the supplier for $6. So they would make that $4 difference, to be simple with math. Now, that's the most money that Jenny promo person will ever make, right? Because that is assuming there's no cost associated with fulfilling the order. As I said in the past, there's a lot of costs, there's a lot of time, there's a lot of wasted hours.
You're not
There's
making for it.
So when I actually go and talk to promo distributors and say, how much, forget about the margin, what's your profit on every order? It ranges depending on how successful a promo distributor is or how large they are, what their buying power is, but it ranges between 15% profit and 25% profit. So if they sold a mug for $10, they should be expecting to make $1.50 in profit to $2.50, in that range, okay? Fine, but you have to factor in, and that's all the wasted time. Forget the hours of the time they spent and the people, I'm factoring that into the profit, but the time spent, you can't get that back. Having no technology platform to help you make sales, you can't get that back. Forget all that stuff. Just the simple math, they make $1.50 to $2.50. With Swag Space, they make $3. So it's not in profit. They're making actually more money on a per order basis with us than if they did it themselves. Why? Because we give 30% commission or profit on every order. If you sell that mug for $10, Swag Space collects the full 10 and we give Jenny promo 3. That's the baseline. So baseline, you're not only getting your time back, you're not only streamlining your experience, you're not only be able to sell way more, you're not only getting a $20 million tech platform in seconds for free, you're actually making more profit if you really think about it on an order-by-order basis. And that's the start. If Jenny Promo wants to make 35% profit or 40% profit, she could do that. It will just increase the prices on her site for her customers. So instead of a $10 mug, it might be $10.50 or $11. But we give that flexibility. It's up to every single promo distributor or screen printer or any member on SwagSpace to decide how much they want to make.
Yeah, and again, like you're eliminating all that extra time, the tedious stuff that nobody wants to do. So again, can I make it? You can make the markup whatever you want. Can you go lower than 30%?
No. So that's what we've wanted to do is we don't want people racing to the bottom. I don't want people who are members on our site to be like, I'm only gonna make a 5% margin on every order, and I'm gonna undercut the entire community. It's not gonna be a sustainable model. So we make it so that you cannot make less than 30%. You can only make more, and the prices will increase. But on a per customer basis, let's say Facebook comes to you and says, hey, this is $10 t-shirt, I need it to be $9. You, of course, have the flexibility to give Facebook a $10 promo code or $20 promo code or $100 off promo code. You have full control. What happens, promo codes come out of your commission. So instead of making $3 on that $10 t-shirt, you're now going to make $2. We don't want to allow you to make the whole site, discounted or 10% off, but on a case-by-case basis, 100%, every member has the flexibility to increase prices or decrease prices.
It's the same thing with like a Sanmar. I can't take Sanmar, list a Nike shirt on my site. I can't sell it blank, but I can't even list it at a certain price because we got to protect, the industry. And again, what's actually sustainable doesn't do anybody much good if you're out of business overnight because you're pricing things improperly. When it comes to the promotional products, just primarily think about hard goods. What are the most common decoration methods? I mean, I think of engraving, I think pad printing. What are, I mean, obviously it depends on the product, but what are they?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's heat transfer, there's deboss, there's so many, and that's the
specialized equipment for different products. That's why you don't do it in-house, right? The process may not be super complicated, but if you're going to print pens, depending on the method, you're going to have equipment, those suppliers, that's all it ever does. And unless you have a dedicated piece of equipment, it's going to be very hard for you ever to be able to decorate it at that cost.
It's not a sustainable model, in my opinion, to be able to print every single type of product. Unless, I mean, it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to get the facility that can handle all the different types of promo products that you want to sell. There's different printing that's for specific types of notebooks. There's like leather-bound notebooks, this-bound notebooks. I mean, there's so many different printing, even within the same category of a product, let alone then adding mugs and being able to print on the bottom or inside the mug, or I mean, there's like a million things. There's umbrellas. There's different printing for that. There's different printing for T-shirts and embroidery, and I mean, it's crazy.
That's why it's not going to come in-house, really. I mean, the only thing you kind of can do in-house is buy blanks and maybe buy a UV sticker and slap it on something. But guess what? You're not doing that hundreds of times. That's just not the way it works. Now, when it comes to turnaround times, these are often different. Like, what is, and I know on your site, your different products, you mentioned, hey, this is how long it takes. What is the average turnaround time in the industry for a promo product?
It varies. Every product's different. We have it on our site on Swag Space where you could filter based on production timelines, and we have a lot of products that are under 5 days business. We have 10 days, 12 days. It ranges. I would say, I'll even look at the site right now. I would say the average product on our site is about 10 business days or less.
That's really fast. For those who don't know, I mean, a lot of the times you're looking at 2-3 weeks for these, and yeah, I mean, that's fast. Yeah,
I mean, the beauty of us being owned by Custom Ink is that they're the leader in the industry. They've been in the industry for 25 years. We've been able to learn a lot, and we've been able to piggyback off of a lot of their operational know-how and scalability.
Yeah, that was my next question. How? I mean, Custom Ink, you being a part of Custom Ink, it scares some shops. I don't know why. Well, I kind of get why, but it doesn't scare me personally. What it does is it gives me confidence that there's a big backbone to everything that's going on. I'm not worried about Custom Ink, stealing my lead or my clientele at all. I see it again as it makes you more powerful because of that relationship.
100%. And obviously, we would never take anyone's clients. I mean, if we did that, the business would be done. There'd be no point of all of us working so hard to make this universal swag platform that could help people if we were just going to shoot ourselves in the foot for a client here and there. I mean, it literally makes no sense. So we would never do that. I would say think of us as just your supplier. Just like any supplier that you currently use, they're not going around your back and reaching out. We're not doing that. We are here to help. That's the entire point of this business. That's the only reason why I'm still here doing this. I've had this passion for a long time. I see that this could really work. It's not easy. I understand people see the platform and they say, oh, wow, this is a completely new way of doing things. And I'm going to change the way I have to do things for the last 20 years. And I get that could be scary. I get it. I'm not saying you're wrong by thinking it's scary to change the way you're doing things. But at the same time, technology is always getting better and better. And I would hate that people are just going to be like, I'm scared of it, so I'm not going to do it, and then they find themselves in big trouble in the future. You should realize that this has been tested and vetted for 9+ years. We have the best experience, the best operation know-how for over 25 years with Custom Ink. This could allow you to really scale up and transform your business in a real way. How I think of it is this. Every promo distributor up until now has been riding their bicycle to work. Okay, they've been riding their bicycle to work. They've got into work. Bicycles are pretty awesome, right? Pretty cool. But what happens is riding a bicycle to work might take you an hour to get each way. And by the time you get to the office, you're going to be sweaty and it's uncomfortable. Okay, there's some downsides to riding a bike. It gets you there. It takes a long time. It's not necessarily comfortable. We're a motorcycle. You're getting to work instantaneously and you show up fresh and new. But I can understand that it might be a little bit nervous to get on a motorcycle. So we are here to help you. We want to help train you how to use it. We want to be in your corner. We have a whole sales team. We got Joe, Zach, Joe. We have a whole team that if you need help in any way, Joe can even join your sales calls with your customer and help you close the deal. Like, we want to really show you how this could transform your life in a really positive way. And we believe so much in it that we're really going all in on this.
Oh, makes complete sense. And again, like, selling promo hard goods is a different conversation than apparel. And you've also created some pretty cool features that I would have never have thought of. And that is like new employees and so forth. Like, they often get a kit. So not only are you providing a platform where I can sell product build slide decks and so forth. But you guys also house and warehouse and drop ship. Like, how does all of that work? And why is that really important to be able to have?
Totally. Inventory is such an important feature. I mean, some promo distributors might not want it, might not need it, but it's always good because you might have a client who needs it. And it's not just giveaways and gifting. It's engaging with your remote team. It's company culture building. There's so many use cases for why you want to send somebody a gift in the mail or a piece of swag in the mail, whether it's external, your best customers or leads to help close a deal, or internal, your employees, your culture building. So we built this robust offering where when people are going through the checkout flow, they're given two options. Do I want to send that swag to my office or to my one address? Think of any e-commerce experience sending it to one address. Or with the click of a button, do I want to hold that swag in inventory and then individually distribute that swag to 1,000+ individual addresses at once? We've made it really easy that every checkout flow, you could decide how you want to send the swag. And if you end up holding your stuff in inventory, we built a whole robust platform. For your audience, can think of it as like an online swag closet, right? Just for visuals. Like you go into the office, you see an in-person closet that has all the swag. Think of it as like a swag closet in the cloud. You log in, you see your online swag closet, exactly what you have in stock at all times. You could send that swag to one address. You could upload a CSV file. It will calculate the shipping in real time. You pay for it. It ships it globally. You don't have the addresses. Imagine some of your audience, goes to a trade show, right? And they get all these email addresses of their clients. They don't know where their client lives. They don't have their addresses. They don't know what t-shirt size they are. We built tools where you could buy an inventory, create a landing page that could be blasted out to all of that email list instantaneously, and then each person who gets the email could select on their t-shirt size, could select which product they want. It speaks to our system. We could distribute exactly what the client wants. Like I don't want to go through all the features. There's so many things that we built out, and it's all connected to this powerful e-commerce experience. And what's cool is every single SwagSpace member gets all of it, everything.
Well, and it was built based on your years of experience, pulling out your hair, banging your head against the walls like, gosh, why does it work this way? I'll use the Steve Jobs, let's think different. You are obviously approaching this very differently. And I want to just keep hitting up my favorite thing. What's the risk, Jeremy?
There's nothing. There's no risk.
So why wouldn't I try?
The risk is not giving it a shot. That's really the risk.
The Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots.
Just try it. I'm telling you, try it, and don't just sign up and then say, "Oh, this is cool." Sign up, dive in a little bit, be open-minded to a different way of doing things. Place a few orders through the site, or allow your clients to place a few orders, or help build carts for your clients. Do the work. And I'm telling you, once you start seeing 1, 2, 3 orders come in, and if you really step back and you realize how much faster I just did that through SwagSpace than I did it previously up until this point, I'm telling you, it's an unlock. I'll be honest with you, we have people who sign up and then never give it a shot. And that happens. And I feel like
every day on this platform, man. I don't know why somebody, and they're paying for it, and it's revolution. It can do a lot to manage your business, but I mean, you can't force somebody to.
You can't force them. But then you have, on the flip side, you have people who sign up and give it a shot, and they're doing 10, 20 orders a month, like right away. And you're like, okay, they get it. So it just takes some time to really see a few orders in, see how much faster it is on the front end of getting the order through the funnel, and then seeing that your entire back end is now replaced by us. So on both ends, that, as I said before, the 80% of the BS, it doesn't exist anymore in the SwagSpace.
Well, customers don't care who decorates something. Mm-hmm. That's something that I think a lot of us, and again, everybody outsources promo. I think where the industry is going, Jeremy, with DTF, fewer people are going to buy bigger pieces of equipment. I'm going to buy a heat press. I'm going to outsource transfers. If anything, I'll buy the other printer. But automatic screen printing equipment, 12-head embroidery machines, you're always going to find somebody who's willing to do it at a good price. That I just think it's the industry is just going outsourcing more and more. Keep yourself as lean as possible. I mean, you talked about it. Time is money, But guess where the time comes? It's either your time or it's late. You're paying for labor, and it gets expensive, especially nowadays. Trying to find people here in the States who want to work and give a good effort all the time. You can stay lean, and you're using technology. And we, as consumers, draw conclusions based on what we see. So, on DecoNetwork, we provide sites, and a misconception is, oh, wait, now I've got this site with the design tool and so forth. Every order is going to be placed. No way. It's still a custom-made to order product, but that website can reduce a lot of back and forth. It does a lot. Even if the transaction doesn't start and end there, don't think that site doesn't do a lot. But your customers, your website is your online face. It is like walking into a storefront. You know why? I mean, there's a lot of great things about Apple, but you walk into their retail space, they really thought of it through. And it was unlike any other retail space when they first came about it. And you as a consumer draw conclusions just based on that. When somebody comes to your website and it looks really professional, they start assuming that you're a big business. It might just be you. And again, guys, I can't speak highly enough of Jeremy of what the technology looks like, how it operates. I'm a part of the Shirt Lab Tribe group, and I know that Swag Space is a sponsor. Shout out to the Shirt Lab Tribe. Anybody looking to grow their business, learn, share ideas. I mean, being a part of a private group goes a long way. Shirt Lab is great. I know you're a sponsor. That's how I met you guys. And we in the Shirt Lab Tribe group talk about Swag Space every couple weeks, and awesome. I know there's more and more that are going that route for many reasons, and one of them is just how professional it looks and how we can empower our customers versus some of the other platforms. You're shy to share it because it doesn't. It's not the same quality as everything else, and I don't want to give my customer a bad experience. Can Swag Space really got launched this year. Can you give us I know some things are careful to share, but are you seeing more old school promo product distributors? Are you seeing more of those print shops who are wanting to now offer promo? Is it kind of a split? Yeah, what's that breakdown like?
A combination of both. I'm finding the sweet spot for Swag Space. If we do get promo distributors using it, they're usually promo distributors that have between like $1 and $5 million a year.
There's different levels of distributors for
different
sure.
Levels. We find that the ones that are bigger than 5 million, they love it. They want to do it, and they wish we existed 20 years ago. But they have so many people and so much processes built already for their organization. They're very fearful of and I understand it. I totally get it.
We deal with it at DecoNetwork. If you've been on a software platform for 10 years and you have a staff of 20, change is extremely difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we found. And we're finding a lot of screen printers who are just like completely new to promo and like doing amazing jobs. So it's a lot. We have some designers using it. We have some people who literally are in none of the industries that I mentioned before. Like they're just completely new to promo. They've never sold swag in their life. They didn't even know about the industry.
Marketing company, and that's what I'm saying. Like, do you know one of the largest distributors now of promo products is Staples? It's crazy. Staples. That's one of the largest places to buy promotional products. And my point is, everybody's doing it, even if they were never in this decoration world. It just promo is exploding, and you launching this is really great timing. Like I said, it'd be better if it was 10 years ago, but you got to wait for technology. I mean, James Cameron came up with Avatar in the early 90s. He had to wait a couple decades to get it there because the tech couldn't handle it. And what is kind of the future of Swag Space? What are you just? Is it the evolution? Just keep going. I know you're adding more product. What are you really excited about?
I think it's just learning what people need and how we can be helpful. That's it. That's all I care about. I'm not even worried about growth, if I'm being honest with you. Being like we are going to get the growth, and we already are seeing the growth. I'm not even concerned about that. I want to allow people to streamline their life. That's it. And I believe if we really understand people's pain points and challenges and we can build the right solution for them, and we're not like just a platform like, here it goes, figure out yourself. we are constantly adding more and more features every single day. Like every day, we have a full tech team. We're listening to our customer service and myself, listening to the clients, hearing their feedback, designing solutions, and then building it. We're constantly elevating, getting better and better. And my hope is that we streamline people's life, make it a lot easier, allow them to have a lot more time with their friends and family, or just make a lot more money. And this could be a great path forward for them to scale and grow and take their life back. Because I know, as myself, when I was a promo distributor, I had no life. I was so busy, and for what? Like, technology is good if it's used in the right way, and we're building the right way.
Yeah, and you know, we at DecoNetwork are probably very similar how you think. It's making things better for both the end user and that distributor, because it has to work for everybody. And yeah, again, so where can somebody learn more, or even, you know, fill out an application and do a demo with Joe? Because I highly suggest everybody at minimum do a demo. I mean, it's like a half hour. Joe will go through it with you. He's extremely knowledgeable, and you start seeing it for yourself. Like, whoa, this is. I mean, again, what's the risk? So yeah, where can they learn more?
Yeah, please check us out. Our domain name is swag.space. So not .com, it's swag.space. And it's right when you get to the page, you'll see an application button. You'll see a book a demo with Joe. It's either one, get you to the right place. Send me an email. My email is still the swag.com. It's jeremy@swag.com. Or you can email Joe, who's our head of sales, at joe@swag.space. So check us out. Love to meet with you. Love to show you what we have. And hopefully we can make an impact for you and allow you to level up your swag selling.
You know, Joe or Jeremy, and as I'm saying this, there's nothing preventing somebody from trying swag space while they're already doing their current method. And
Totally.
and they should ask their customers, what was a better experience for you, this way?
Totally.
Or you know, the last order you threw for one of the other platforms, and now this one, hey, I made this on Swag Space. Did you find this quoting or this ordering process easier? And I think that's a good way for some shops to look at it. And ask other shops, you know, what they think or what their experiences are about. Because like I said, in the Short Lab group, they're raving about your platform,
Thank you.
Jeremy.
Exactly.
So yeah, again, guys, visit swag.space.com, request a demo, and you'll see for yourself why this is a revolutionary way to sell promotional products. And again, the industry is gravitating so quickly towards promo for many reasons that you need to be offering it to stay competitive. It's a fact, especially when you have all these decorators now offering it, and you know, kind of taking away your business. And don't forget, apparel is promo. So when I say Staples is starting to sell promo, they're selling custom apparel. So if you don't want Staples to take away your business because they're doing both apparel and hard goods, you need to be partnering up with somebody like swag.space. If you are, hey, I want to do the apparel in-house, I want to outsource the promo, it's a must. There are wants, there are needs. This has now become a need to often stay competitive. And I would say 80% of the shops I talk to now offer promo. If I ask the same amount of shops 10 years ago, I bet it was less than 40%, Jeremy. I mean, it's crazy. Extremely important. Thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to having another conversation with you in the future.
Thanks, Zach, so much. It was great being here.
Thanks, Jeremy.